From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD PrimeTime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Anglers Live. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. We got ourselves a great show today as well, too. So you guys get ready for some good analysts and things of that nature. Now, Mike Abadir was supposed to join us today as well, too, but he's a little busy right now. So if he can join us, he will. But if he can't, no worries. I'll probably be on his show later on today. And if he doesn't join us today, he most likely will be with us tomorrow. But tomorrow I will be on a bit earlier. I have a busy day tomorrow and everything like that. And Horsing Around will be back tomorrow as well, too. So you guys be on the lookout for that. So the show will probably be going on about 11 o'clock tomorrow. So you guys get ready for that, or about 10:30 or so. But I'm going to be very early with shows tomorrow. So you guys be on the lookout for that. Now, let's go ahead and jump into my first topic at hand. And it has to do with this weekend's playoff game. And I have a full preview for you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we can get Jeff Dawson in tomorrow to talk playoffs with us and everything. He's so busy with his 3 shows now and everything like that. He does 3 shows daily. You guys make sure to catch him on the Breakfast Bankroll as well, too. Him and Scotty, very good show as well, too. So you guys make sure to check that out. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and jump into the topics that I have for you in hand. The Packers face a tough test in 49ers. Could this be the end of the Rodgers era in this game? You know what I mean? So pretty much I have to go ahead and fix that real quick, the Rodgers era. But yeah, the Rodgers era. So you have that. And man, I'm telling you guys right now, from what I'm seeing, you have a playoff history with these guys that dates back to 1996, the first time that they played. Packers absolutely crushed the 49ers 35-14 in Green Bay. This was back in 1996. And then came back the next year, 1997 championship game, beat them in San Francisco as well, too. Big win there. And everybody truly does remember the 95 game, 27-17. It was the changing of the guards where pretty much Brett Favre had became the man in the NFL after that moment. And pretty much that's where Brett Favre became famous at, in my opinion. That was the game that put him on the stratosphere for everybody. So when you look at this, the Packers actually did the first 3 matchups that they did have. The Packers did win that. Niners didn't get a win against them until 1998. Everybody remembers that wild and crazy wild card game that put T.O. on the map as well, too. So pretty much that was T.O.'s biggest game. One of Steve Young's final great games as well, too. And then they hooked up back in 2001. The Packers won that game as well, too. 2012, everybody remembers that game. 49ers went in there and beat them 45-31. It was an absolute shellacking that day. And then came back the next year in the wild card round, went to Green Bay, won for the first time ever in Green Bay in a playoff situation, and beat them 23-20. And they were able, the last time they met up in Santa Clara, and the Niners won the game 37-20. So the Niners have won the last 3 in a row against the Packers after the Packers have won the first 4 out of 5 matchups. So pretty much when you look at what's going on here, you have a situation where you have it 5-4 all time for the not 5-4, but it's a 4-4 situation from what I'm seeing here, because I'm looking at it right. I'm looking at the stats right now. So you have 1-zip, 2-zip Packers, 3-zip Packers, 3-1 Packers, 4-1 Packers, 4-2, 4-3, and 4-4. So they're even all time with the 49ers winning the last 4 games. Now, this game is going to be the toughest game of the season for the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers already ran into a very tough game with the 49ers early in the season, and the 49ers were going through a little bit of a struggle at that moment as well too. So that's kind of where it started at. And so pretty much that was a game that was pretty intense because the 49ers did have a great drive, which they thought was going to end the game, but what winds up happening is that the Green Bay Packers were able to drive the ball down the field and get themselves a final kick to go ahead and win that game in dramatic fashion. So pretty much this one actually just is, to me, this game is another what my man Keith Jackson would love to see. Keith Jackson and what you call what you call it, all good. It's a slobber knocker going on, OJR, but it's about to be a slobber knocker over there in Green Bay Saturday. Now, I think that the spread on the game is a bit too high, especially with this being somewhat the same as a NFC Championship game in a sense to me, because I think that the winner of this game probably does wind up, with a good chance at winning the Super Bowl and going to the Super Bowl to be exact. I think that these are two of the better teams in the NFC as well too. I know that Rams and Bucks seem to get the attention because the stars that are going into that game, but I really truly think that it's the Packers conference to lose. And if you have a team that you can trust as a dark horse out of all the 8 teams left in the playoffs, it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers. So this game right here to me is much bigger than it looks on paper. And this game is really a tough spot for the Packers, because at the end of the day, the 49ers were really a team that at points didn't know if they were going to the playoffs. Okay, so them making the playoffs is a really good thing for them this season. But at the end of the day, they are playing for Super Bowls and everything like that. But if they are to lose this game, they did do a lot to put their season back intact, and that's something that they can build off of as well too, because I feel like everybody with San Francisco got healthy at the right time, and this is making this team by far the most dangerous team in the playoffs when it comes to either conference. You know what I mean? And that's because the way that they had to get into the tournament. So it is what it is. And I think that we are on to something here. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I think that this game will be a goodie, and this one will be on Fox on Saturday afternoon. So you guys make sure to tune in for that game. And man, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be the battle of the brains. You have two of the smarter quarterbacks in the NFL, but you have one that's a super legend, and you have one that's a game manager. And I really do think San Francisco does have a good shot at this game, because you still have Aaron Rodgers, who still has that broke pinky toe. I know it doesn't seem like it's affecting him, but it's been affecting him. And I think a week off, that should be good, but then you have to get yourself back into the flow of things. So the physical nature of the 49ers really does make this a dangerous spot for the Green Bay Packers. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next topic at hand, and that's going to be the Bills and Chiefs. This one is just similar to the 49ers Packers game. You have a Bills Chiefs game where I truly do feel the winner will win the AFC. Now, I say a question mark to it, but I think that a lot of people do agree that they do see this team really going ahead and being able to advance in the playoffs. One of these teams advance to the Super Bowl. It's so crazy that you have to have this game so early in the playoffs, in my opinion. Everybody kind of had this pegged as the conference championship, but at the end of the day, you got to play the game when the game is set. So this game to me really does call for everybody to really jump into this situation and understand that this is going to be a game that pits two teams against each other that have two of the better quarterbacks for the future of the NFL. Now you have Mahomes, who's considered the wizard of all the young quarterbacks. And then you have Josh Allen, who's a dual threat quarterback that has brought Buffalo back to relevancy to the point to where, hey, you know what? We loving it over here in Buffalo right now. So, I think that this will wind up being a very good situation for this team moving forward. And Buffalo, Kansas City, we all remember last year what happened. Kansas City beat them 38-24 to go to the Super Bowl as well. So, they have history with each other. Now the Bills and Chiefs played each other they played each other a few times in the playoffs as well too. I'm going back into the history books right now, and I do remember when the Bills beat them 30-13. That was, I think that was actually Joe Montana's final game, to be exact. So I do remember that game specifically over at the old Orchard Park and everything like that. So I know that this one is over at Rich Stadium. Orchard Park is actually where they play at. I'm very sorry about that, but over at Old Rich Stadium. So, yeah, you have that working out in your favor. And did they ever play playoff games in the old AFL? Now, I don't see that they played any playoff games in the old AFL, but there was a game last year that was 31-17. I'm guessing that was a playoff game in a sense because it was on the first day of the year. And I know the league was a little different at that point in time. But all in all, though, it looks like that the Chiefs have kind of the advantage here in the playoff realm of things. But I think that the Buffalo Bills have the advantage in knowing that they beat this team and they absolutely shredded them the first time that they played them. So I think going into this game, Josh Allen presents the big, big stop sign for this Kansas City Chiefs season. Now, the Chiefs looked great last week, beating up on Pittsburgh team that was literally saying goodbye to their superstar quarterback or their franchise quarterback of the last almost 20 years. So this week, they're going against a team that crushed the team that was the dynasty for the last 20 plus years or something of that accord, and things have just not been the same since Tom Brady left, right? In 2 years, yes, they got one playoff appearance, and then they go into the playoffs, lose to their rival by 30 points, and didn't even get to scoring until maybe about midway through the third quarter. So pretty much that game right there was a sign to show you that who runs this division now and who is Poppy in the AFC East. And I think that big win last week was a big confidence booster for this team, and beating Bill Belichick, who, regardless of not having Tom Brady or anything anymore, is still the best coach out of all the coaches that made the playoffs this year. We all know that. And they absolutely undressed him. And so they'll go into this week going against an Andy Reid coach team, and I feel like they're going to do the same exact thing. They already undressed them at Arrowhead earlier this year on Monday Night Football. I think that they go into this one, and I don't think that they blow them away, but I think that they're going to make things very hard on Patrick Mahomes and crew, and they'll figure out a way to steal this game. So I'm going to go out off on the limb just a little bit and tell you guys that I do feel like Buffalo can win this game, but I'll have my final verdict for it tomorrow. I'm still doing a little study and everything like that, but I really do like Buffalo going into their game this weekend. All right, so there it is. All right, so we move forward and let's go ahead and talk about I know it's my turn to talk about the Cowboys right now. So pretty much you have a Cowboys team, and I have questions, Cowboys fans. Do you guys really want to stick with Mike McCarthy as your head coach? Like, keep it real. Do you think that Michael McCarthy is going to be the guy that can lead you to an NFL championship? I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want to dog coaches out like that, but I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. Michael McCarthy is a guy that does not need to be the Cowboys head coach anymore at all, in my opinion. In my honest opinion, I think that this job is a little bit too over his head. And I think that the best bet for them is to go with the guy like Dan Quinn, that they are their defensive coordinator that they already have on staff. Now, I know a lot of people think about it and they say, oh, why not Cooper Rush? Why not Cooper Rush? Why not, why not Cooper Rush, but why not the offensive coordinator. So pretty much I say Kellen Moore is not prepared to be a head coach yet. You can see that in some of his offensive calls that, that are, I'm not going to say they're simple, but I'm going to say that, that they're not hard, that after a while, what's coming. So, pretty much it gives you the idea that you have a coach that's good, used to be good at what he does, but he's not good at it anymore. That's the whole thing. And I could never really trust a coach that got fired in the hallway as well, too. What I mean? He got fired in the hallway in Green Bay. And Green Bay actually wasn't even in a bad situation at that moment. They just had got beat by a team that hadn't won a game all season, and it was embarrassing, and it was at home. And it seemed like it was like the last 3 weeks he kept losing the game the same exact way. So frustration boiled over, and they fired the guy right there in the tunnel. But that's because there was a little bit of a discrepancy with his quarterback as well, too. And I think that, everything's all good and well and sound and things like that. And I know that pretty much they felt that moving on from Jason Garrett was the best option, because he didn't get him any Super Bowls. But honestly, at the end of the day, you're getting the same exact results that you got with Jason Garrett as the coach. So I feel like the Cowboys might have made a bad decision by moving on from a Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett was the one that decided to start Dak Prescott. He was the one that decided to give a heavy workload to Zeke Elliott as well, too. He was the one that, pretty much tried to make sure that Amari Cooper was able to fit into the system immediately. You know what I mean? So I think that the Cowboys could have just stuck with the coach they already had, and they still would have had the same season they just had this year. You know what I mean? So Mike McCarthy, I would say, should be on the hot seat. I don't even know how he still has a job this week. But I think the way how loyal Jerry Jones and his son are to coaches and things of that nature, that coach is going to get another shot. He's going to get a fair shake because, and all in all, when you look at their season, they won 12 games. That's great. 12 games this year. And a lot of people didn't think the Cowboys were going to win 10 games, but they were a dominant team this year. And yeah, I know they beat up on the bad NFC. I know they beat up on a bad NFC East, but still, they had another playoff team from the NFC East there as well too. But the way that they crushed their division this year was absolutely tremendous in my opinion. And yeah, they did kind of feast on bad teams this year, with majority of their wins coming against teams that were under 500. But a lot of the NFL was bad this year. Let's just keep it real. You know what I mean? Like you had 14 really good teams, and then you had 18 really whatever teams. And no, you had 14 really good teams. Then you had about 6 middling teams, and then everybody else after that was pretty bad. Okay, so a lot of teams took advantage of the bad teams this season. So I think that the Cowboys, all in all, they have a bright future, but they have to find a coach that's a true leader of men, a guy that people will run through a brick wall for. I'm not saying try to go find another Jimmy Johnson or anything like that, but I'm just saying that it would be best to find you a coach that can really, really get the players to play for him 100% of the time. You know what I mean? And I think that McCarthy, there's just a lot, there's some doubts there with him. And if there are some doubts there with him, they're going to start coming out very soon. But you can honestly see that there are a little bit of doubts when you're looking at the Cowboys offense, when you're looking at the defense, things like that. And they really just trust their coordinators more than anything. The head coach is able to keep his job and keep people happy because let's face it, he was in the NFL for 10 years and he has a Super Bowl. So that automatically warrants you to have a job for at least 3 to 4 years with the team so they can at least see what you can build. So he does have things working out in his favor because he's a proven winner in the league. So only time will tell how long the Cowboys will stick around with Mike McCarthy. But at this point right now, if I was general manager and owner, things of that nature, I would have to move on from this situation. And honestly, quite honestly, I would really say this is my time to go ahead and try to buy Bill Belichick. Seriously. Because at the end of the day, Cowboy fans might not want to hear this, but if you really want to win a championship, you would really break the bank to go get Bill Belichick right now. I think that they are a perfect fit for each other. And if they can figure out a way to get Bill Belichick to Dallas ever in the possibly the next 3 seasons, I think that they could go ahead and win a Super Bowl, to be honest with you. And I think it sounds crazy now, but you need a guy like Belichick that can coach up everybody. And that would be very similar to what Jimmy Johnson did. So I think that that could work. It could really work, but see what the future holds, though. You know what I mean? So pretty much with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and when I get back, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the NBA Thursday night. We only got 3 games tonight, but still, we got games to talk about. So you guys make sure to stick around. And this is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Eagles Live.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. And I know I didn't tell you guys, but we're gonna get into it right now because the thing is, it's been kind of heavy on my little social medias and everything right now. As you all know, the Lakers did lose again last night, and that was just not right, right? Lakers lost last night, and it's just wow, you know what I mean? So pretty much now back to square one. You win a game, you lose a game. And I said this already that the Lakers are a very middling team. It comes down to, will they start off bad, maybe lose the first 3 games in a row, come back around, win 4 in a row, then come back around, lose 2 in a row, then win 2 in a row. Then and at the end of the day, they keep winding up having the identical wins and losses all season. When you look at the Lakers right now, they're 22 and 23. Okay. They're just under 500 now. Okay. And they won 3 in a row and to get themselves back in the mix for being 300 and then wind up losing 3 in a row, back to back at 3 in a row. And then they win 1. So that pretty much means that they were a game below 500. Right. So I think that that's what's really irritating everybody is that they're a game below 500 and they've played 45 games. Now you only have half the season to play with. You know what I mean? Now you only have what? You got 82 games in the season. You've already played 45. So you have about, I would say 36 games left on the year, 37 games left on the year. So, yeah, the Lakers know that they're going to have to win February, March, and April to really go ahead and put themselves in a good position in the playoffs. So then they don't have to be a play-in team at this point right now due to the Minnesota at this point having the lead in the tiebreaker, even though they have the same record. Minnesota is actually the 7th seed. So the Lakers right now, if we started the playoffs today, will have a play-in with the Clippers, and that would absolutely be epic if that happened. Everybody knows that too. We all know that would be absolutely epic if that was to occur. But I think that the Lakers will find a way to not have that occur. Now, They are at the point right now, they are 2 games behind Denver. Okay. And I think that they can catch Denver because Denver's a team that's middling as well too. It's just that they've been able to beat up on the bad teams, unlike the Lakers, who are kind of 50-50 with the bad teams. So you have that, and then Dallas is a catchable spot as well too. Even though they're 4 games ahead, Dallas is a moody team. Dallas win 7 in a row, and then they'll get to a point to where they're losing 7 in a row. Now they're on a hot run right now. That's why everything's looking pretty good. They're having a really good month, to be honest with you. Okay, so when you look at the Lakers numbers from last night, you say, okay, everything says that the Lakers should have won this game, right? But you got to be able to take care of the ball. The Lakers had 11 turnovers, the Pacers had 12. But one thing that you really do have to do, you have to get rebounds. And the Lakers were out rebounded 48-40 last night. That's not a big differential, but they were out rebounded 14-12 on offensive rebounds. I just really felt that the Lakers gave up way too many second chance points, and they do it a lot, giving up second chance points. I think that the actual answer for the Lakers is finding high energy big men, guys that crash the boards, guys that bother shots, guys that don't need any offense. They just need to go ahead. They just play very good team ball. If they're scoring points, that's because pretty much they got an offensive rebound, throw up a dunk, or you throw them a nice little pass for a layup. But figure out a way to find a guy who's just a high-end big man that plays sound defense and good team defense and crashes those boards. The reason why the Lakers were so successful in the Kobe era, when it was Kobe, Gasol, Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum, Fisher, Ariza, Artest, just to name the usual suspects for that crew. Lamar Odom was one of the top rebounders in the league, and another top rebounder in the league was Paul Gasol, and another top rebounder in the league was Andrew Bynum. Those 3 guys right there used to almost get 45 rebounds by themselves. You know what I mean? As a trio. So when you would look at the Lakers numbers and you would see a 20-point blowout, the Lakers had 60, 65 rebounds. That is truly what defense is all about. It's about getting guys down there. I know everybody looks at steals and blocks as the key to defense. The key to defense is rebounding, okay? And when you get a team down there, they get up one shot and you make them go one and done, that's exactly what the defense is called for. The blocks and the steals are like home runs. You know what I mean? Those are things that are bonuses. You know what I mean? But the rebounding is the end all be all to really play really good defense. You can switch, you can be all in the guy's chest, but when that shot goes up and it doesn't go in, you need to be winning that battle more than you're losing that battle. You can't go in there and let a team get 15 offensive rebounds. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. Then they rebound you by 8. So literally, you really did out rebound them when it came down to the overall rebounds, but those extra 14 offensive rebounds put them ahead of you. Okay, so man, I just think that the Lakers have to really, really get back to the basics of things. And I think that everybody's just blaming certain players because they just don't like their game. I understand Westbrook is a little reckless, okay? Well, not a little reckless. He's a lot of reckless, okay? But when it comes down to soldiers and guys who've been here before, guys who have been in wars before, that's who you want on the court. And I know benching him last night, some people were happy about it. Some people weren't. I was one of those people who wasn't happy about it because I feel like he's a former MVP. You can't look to him and say, all right, man, I'm going to put you on the bench because I feel like this is going to be better for us. So let me go ahead and play some more THT and some more this guy right here. Guys that were never MVPs. They're not guys that you really go to war with like that in that situation. Not yet. They haven't really showed us they battle tested, because these guys have been there when we given up leads late in games, and they were the factor for that. So I know Russ is a little nerve-wracking because his game isn't what it was when he was in OKC, when he was in Houston, when he was in Washington. It seemed like the triple-double came every single night. It seemed like he was a highly productive player, but that was a lot of I have the ball 80% of the time. Now he has to get back to being within a team atmosphere because he has a guy who's the best player, who's the best player in the league, pretty much one of the greatest players that ever played a game. And I just think that Russ has tried his hardest to be a natural point guard this season. That's what's hindering his game. And I think that if he goes back to being UCLA Westbrook, and that means we need Kendrick Nunn to get healthy, then he can play a combo guard position where he's almost a two guard out there like he was in college. He was not a point guard in college. And when they went to turn him into a point guard in the NBA, I said that might not be the smartest idea because he's a much better player coming off the wing. So if you have Westbrook running with you on a fast break, things of that nature, and he's dicing and slicing with you, I think that he can work some things out. But when you have him over here, you want him to pound the ball and go around the screen and do all this extra stuff. I just think that that's not going to work. You got to figure out a way to make this guy more of a guy that does not need to have the ball to get his points. I think that pretty much you just have to figure out a way to have another point guard on the court with him and play the dual guard threat because you already have a short NBA. You already have an NBA that's playing a lot of small ball, and the Lakers have figured out that their better lineups are within the small ball situation. So we'll see how it goes, but I just think that we get Nunn and AD healthy, we have a very good opportunity to go ahead and make some noise here in the coming months of that matter the most: February, March, and April. And the month that really does matter the most, to be honest with you, really when this thing is starting to really will take off and really be like, okay, we're gonna have to get this in gear if it's not there yet after the All-Star break. And everybody knows that. Every team knows that when you get to the All-Star break, if you're in a position where you have to turn it on, you better turn it on within the first 5 games or so, or be prepared to, not make the playoffs and things like that. But the Lakers, to me, are not in jeopardy of missing the playoffs this year. It's all about where their seeding is going to be at this year. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. That's the state of the Lakers. We'll have a game tomorrow night as well, too. I'll get into that a little bit more tomorrow. So once again, state of the Lakers. And man, I'm not as mad as everybody else because it's a process. It takes time. And I truly do think that the Lakers will resolve this and work it on out. And my honest opinion, I don't think that they move on from Vogel yet. And I don't think that they really have any way of trading Russell Westbrook. But others that are on the roster that can be traded, yeah, there's some people that can be traded. I'm not just going to say the names that I would want to see traded. I'm just going to let the people that are paid to make these moves. You don't need my opinion for it. So, hey, it is what it is. And once again, and the last time, that is the state of the Lakers. And let's go ahead and jump into the NBA. All right. So tonight in the NBA, we got the Mavs. Well, I'm sorry, the Pelicans and the Knicks. And this game is going to be at the Garden. So you got Pelicans team that is very they were bad to start the season off, but they played better basketball since that point. So, I do truly appreciate that. So pretty much it is what it is. And yeah, it is what what you call it. Yeah, you can't keep everybody happy, man. If teams middling, everybody wants to say that, yeah, they're not good, but what you call it, I wouldn't say they suck. There's a lot of teams in the NBA that truly do suck, dude, and the Lakers aren't one of them. Seriously, because when you're as bad as Orlando and the Pistons, that sucks. That's sucking. But let me go ahead and stick to the task at hand. And pretty much New Orleans is, like I said before, this team is kind of tricky, but I think the Knicks are in a good place right now because Kemba Walker, the best thing that happened to him was probably getting benched, in my opinion. And that has made him understand that his shelf life in the NBA could be running short if he doesn't step his game up, and he's done it big time. Now, the Knicks have dropped their last 2 in a row, but they were on a good little run before that. that at their last 3 out of 5. So they had won 3 straight, lost 2 straight. This month they're 5-4. So the Knicks are back into the 500 column for a month for the first time in a while. So that's pretty good as well too. And then you have a Pelicans team that's like I said before, they might not be winning games, but they're playing better basketball. They've probably been blown out this month, probably like really, really blown out when I look at it. Yeah, they got about 5 double-digit losses this month. But then they have a lot of games where they kept it close, and they have games where they have blowouts themselves. Now, they are only 3-6 this month, but still, this team is trying to build something. No Zion this year, and no signs of Zion coming back. And then Brandon Ingram's scoring's down a little bit as well, too. But that's because he hasn't been in all season. But he is averaging 22.7 a night. So we'll see how it goes. There's some life here with the Pelicans, but I just truly think that the Pelicans are going to be somebody that is just really, really somebody that is going to be tough for them tonight, but I think that the Knicks should be able to go ahead and win this game tonight, to be honest with you. And I think that you wouldn't probably need a, you wouldn't have to overspend on a money line or anything like that. You could just go ahead and just play the 4.5, in my opinion. I think that should work tonight. Well, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but that's going to be the Pelicans and the Knicks tonight. So we have that, and then we move forward to our next spot, and our next spot is going to be this one. It's going to be the Suns and the Mavs, and the Suns and the Mavs game. This one is going to be some fun. You have a Phoenix Suns team that is, top of the world. They're 34-9 on the season. The Mavericks are 26-19 on the year. And as I said before, the Mavericks have been cooking this month. They're actually 9-1 this month as well, too. And this team in their last 10, I would say, in their last 12 games, they're actually going to be 10-2 to be exact. So this team is at last 13 to be exact. They're actually 11-13. 11-2. So this is coming off of a 2-game losing streak, and they had lost 4 out of 5 in that stretch as well, too. So this team is stepping it up big time. And, they had a little run where they lost 7 straight at home as well, too. So this team is cooking. They're at the right time. They're looking good. They got a good win last night against Toronto, beating them by 4 points. Also got a good win against Oklahoma City on Monday night at home as well, too. That was a close game, but they wound up still winning that game by 2. And then they also got a good win Saturday against the Magic as well. But they actually took care of their business in that one. But they've won 4 in a row going into this one. And as I said before, their last 9 out of 10, their only loss occurred to the Knicks. The Knicks beat them by 23 that night. So other than that, the Mavericks are in good shape right now, and this should be a pretty good spot for them. So I'm going to go ahead and have them as my dog of the day. Phoenix, on the other hand, I know Phoenix is tough. I know they're going to be real tough going into this game tonight, but this is one of these games that they're going to run into a little trouble with, because the Mavs and Suns go way back on having these great games and everything. Even when they were bad teams, they had great games against each other. So Phoenix, another really hot team this month. They're 7-1 on the month of January, so this should be some fun. And they've actually dominated. They've only had one game where it was in single digits, and that's either win or loss. But they had one game with wins, and they had one game in single digits. Everything else has been blowouts. Okay, and then the one game that they did lose, they lost by 23. So I like what I see here with Phoenix tonight. So I do like the money line with the Mavs as our dog of the day. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll go ahead and we'll move forward to our next game, and that's going to be the nightcap with the Pacers and the Warriors. And I know this game is just simply a TNT game tonight because it's a way to have the Warriors and pretty much have the Warriors right there for you playing tonight, because the Warriors are the hottest team in the league, the funnest team in the league. They're like bordering like 96 Bull stuff right now with the comeback that they're making, because they are playing tremendous basketball. I'm not saying that they're going to win 72 games or 74 games this year, but the way that they're kind of doing a revenge tour on the NBA you have to absolutely love it if you're a basketball fan and saw what this team was the last 2 years. So, pretty much you do have that working out for you. But when you look at this game tonight, you have a Pacers team coming off fresh off that good win against the Lakers last night, beating 111 to 104. They had a great effort from Levert last night, who was absolutely tremendous in the fourth quarter. I think he scored about 25 points in the fourth quarter to be exact. So, he was huge in the fourth quarter. And this is a high scoring team as well, too. 14th in scoring this year. But, they're going against one of the best defensive teams in the league. But the Warriors have been going through the motions a bit here the last month. They've actually dropped their last 3 out of 5. And for the month of January right now, they're actually 5-5 to be exact. So they're a 500. They're even this month in the 10 games that they played, and dropping 3 out of 5 of those games as of late. And they've had some times where they've ran into 3-game losing streaks at this point too, and that's kind of weird with the Warriors because they haven't lost more than 2 games most of the year. So I think that I'm not saying that they're regressing, but I'm saying that they're trying to get back into the flow of having Klay Thompson back on the court, and then seeing how they can still have guys getting minutes that were contributing heavy on this team. So it happens when you bring back superstars. They just have to figure that portion out. And they did enough winning to start the season off to where, losing 3 in a row isn't going to be that big of a deal. So pretty much it is what it is. Now you got a Pacers team. They've only won twice this month. The Pacers are 2-7, and their second win came last night against the Lakers. But one thing you can say about the Pacers are they scrap, because their other win came against Utah when they beat them by 12, but that was a home game as well too. But this team lost 4 in a row right after that. Then they were able to beat the Lakers. And see, the Lakers should have saw this coming because the Clippers were actually absolutely crushing the Pacers the other night and wound up going like this the other night for the Pacers. They wound up only losing the game by 6. And peep this, they dropped 43 points in the fourth quarter and still lost the game. So the Lakers had to be ready for what was happening last night with the Pacers. But tonight, Golden State will take advantage of a team that's playing their third game in the last 4 days. So pretty much I think that Golden State should absolutely romp in this, but I would tend to play the over here because I think that you got a team that gave up 139 on Monday. They gave 104 last night. Tonight, they'll give up at least over 117 or so tonight, in my opinion, because I'm looking at how their games stack up. And for every game they play really good defense in, the next night around, the team averages at least 119 or better. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And there it is. That's the Pacers and the Warriors tonight. Let's go ahead and move forward to our next. Let's go ahead and move forward to some Talkin Tickets. And it's that time, man. Talkin Tickets, one of my favorite subjects right here. And I know it's your favorite subject as well, too, because we talking them tickets it's about the money, dog, right? So tonight we got a 59-1 ticket. We got Georgia State with the -6.5. We got Winthrop with the -4. We also have Akron tonight with the +3. Then we have Sanford, our CBB dog of the day, +160. And then we also have St. Louis money line today as well, too, with the -145. And then we finish off with Cal Baptist tonight, whose plays over in the Western Athletic Conference. They still have the WAC, the WAC. So pretty much we have a 59-1 ticket tonight. This one looks really good. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. Hopefully we taking this bad boy home. Now, you guys already know you put up $20, you get back $980. That's pretty much you winning $1,000 for $20. So as I always say, my odds are better than the lotto. So why don't you guys give it a chance and see what you can do with it. All right. So we have ourselves the NBA PrimeTime PK3 tonight, since we only have 3 games tonight. So where we're going with this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and take the Knicks with the 4.5 tonight. I think the Knicks go ahead and take care of their business. They win this game by 6 or better. And then the Mavs, as I said before, the dog of the day, +125. This team is playing great basketball right now. They've won their last, As I said before, they won their last 11 out of 13 games. So that's something that we can really count on tonight. So Mavs, let's see if you can get this one home plus 125. And then we also have the over 217.5 with the Pacers and the Warriors tonight as well too. And that's going to be a 7-1 ticket. That one's a little bit more manageable, a little bit more hittable in my opinion, but you don't get the same bang for your buck with lower payments. But if you don't care to make a whole lot of money and everything like that off the game, then you could quite possibly just go ahead and play a quick $50 play and see if you can win yourself a quick $350 or something like that. Or you could play $20 and make yourself a quick $140. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be anything big. Pretty much that's some weekend money right there, right? So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that will be our pick 3 today, and that's going to be 7-1. So there it is. Thank you, Cash Action, sir. I don't act like I didn't see you. I want to thank you very much for that as well too. And so pretty much there it is. Last. Put them with the basketball for 10. All right. So yeah, man. So pretty much like he said, if you guys just put them all together, you can get yourself a nice little lotto ticket, and you don't have to put that much money on it. So pretty much it is what it is, man. And man, I missed the fact that we didn't get Mike in today with this, but I know that he's a busy man. It is recruiting season and everything for him when it comes to bringing in clients for clients and everything. So no worries there. We'll have him here back on the show pretty soon. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But all in all, man, I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in today. You guys are the absolute best. And you guys go ahead and let's go ahead and make some money today. Shout out to my man Cash Action. Thank you for participating and throwing up your little comments and everything during the show. It's always a blast with you as well too, brother. So you be good, okay? And I want to thank you guys once again for tuning on in, and I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking the NFL playoffs this weekend, and we'll also be talking some big CBB spots for Saturday and Sunday as well too. So you guys make sure to tune in for that. And also we'll get into a little bit of boxing as well too. I'll give you guys my prediction and my analyst for the Mark Maxeo and Gary Russell Jr. WBC Featherweight Championship bout that's going to be taking place in Atlantic City. So there it is. I want to thank you guys one more time for tuning in today, and make sure that you guys tune in, share, retweet, whatever you got to do. Let's keep the movement moving. As I always say, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch. Always bet with your head, not with your heart. This is the PrimeTime Angles, the premier sports betting show, and I'm your host, the one and only Pop DBI, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now